All right, guys. So this chat's a little bit different from our normal chats where I just throw a bunch of projects at you. I wanted to kind of go over where we are right now in the DeFi space, and these node projects, these DaaS projects, these DAO projects, reflection projects. I just wanted to kind of have a very open, sincere conversation about this part of the DeFi space and really what's not working, maybe what is working. That way we can kind of all be on the same page, right? Because there's just so many bad projects coming out. And as a community, we really need to understand where we are, right, as far as in the market and things like that. So I have a couple projects to talk about towards the kind of the middle to end of this, but this first little bit, this first maybe 10-15 minutes is really going to be talking about how I see the market, kind of where we're heading, what stuff I'm looking out for. So if you're like a seasoned pro and you don't really want to hear any of this stuff, feel free to just kind of tune off for like 10-15 minutes. But for the people that are really trying to understand where at least I think the space is going or what's happening, I'd like to just take some time just to talk about it so we can all get on the same page. So DeFi, decentralized finance. What seems to be working in the DeFi space are your stable coin farms, your spooky swap, your trader, spirit swap, things like that. Those are kind of things where you can stake tokens to get more tokens, high APRs, different ways to kind of make money. Those are much more stable than I would say some of these other projects, such as your DAOs, your reflection projects, your node projects, your quote unquote node projects. So let's just talk a little bit about this. So over the last 6 to 12 months, I've noticed a flurry of innovation and change in the space, right? We've seen the likes of CCC and MCC and refi. Those really came on strong, even hitting as high as $150 million market cap. I think MCC was, and now it's down to 8 million, right? And so the best reflection project over the last 6 months has now pretty much gone down to pretty much $8 or $9 million from a high of about 150, right? So we saw reflection projects really kind of fading away in the space. They really didn't do too well. I mean, any reflection project that you can think of or bring up, it probably either isn't still around or it's really kind of just barely hanging on for what it's worth right now. And so you do get a lot of people FOMOing into different projects, especially reflection projects early. But if the project doesn't innovate, or the project doesn't grow, or the project doesn't make partnerships, or the hard thing about reflection projects, guys, is you can't put it on an exchange. No reflection project is going to work on an exchange, because how do you pay reflections on an exchange? No exchange is going to sign up for it. No exchange is going to do it. So really, to get the project in front of millions of people, it takes so much work, and it's very hard and limited to put those projects on. So just be careful when you're getting into a new reflection project, that it's probably the best time to make money in that project is during that first week or two of FOMO. After that, it's going to be very difficult unless that team is just crazy. And I haven't. I have some MCC, some CCC, some SCC. I've made a little bit of some money off some of these reflection projects, but if you look at all of them now, they're pretty much down and out. The next is the DAO projects, guys. I mean, you look at Ohm, you look at Time, you look at Heck. When DAOs first started, it was 1-1. Then it evolved into 3-3 and 4-4, which you're auto staking, you're auto rebasing. And people found a way to kind of go in there every 4 hours, claim, unstake, sell, go back in. And people really found a way to game the system. And if you look at, Ohm and Time, what's happened to them, well, Time is a really different story. And I do think there's going to be a movie made about how that whole thing happened. But, even Heck, which is probably the project I thought would do the best in the DAO space, just because of everything that they were offering and what they were trying to do. You're still looking at these DAOs pretty much up in smoke, right? Poof. And so, there has been a lot of innovating, but I don't think there's been a lot of innovation into something that works, right? And so really it is the Wild West. You're having all of these new projects, all of these new ideas being tested and grown and trying to do stuff. But if you really think back in the last 6 to 12 months, who was the real winner, or who really is still around and innovating and growing right now? it's not good. I mean, I tried to put a list together of projects that I invested into a year ago in this new kind of quote unquote DeFi space, and really there's not a lot of them that are left. And so we need to understand that the stuff that we're investing in right now, right, this is not financial advice, but the stuff we're investing in right now probably won't be around in 6 to 12 months unless something truly game changing happens with that protocol. So what I'm doing currently is I am tightening up anything I'm investing to. I used to just want to put money into here, put money into here, and really see how it's going to go. Now I'm very, very cautious. I'm very, very kind of taken back. And I've been moving a ton of money into stable coins and into blue chip projects. In the last week, I probably put about $50,000 into DAG. I bought another DAG node. I bought more LTX. I bought more HBAR. I bought a little more Telcoin. I bought a little bit of more Phantom to hold on to. I do think as we move into regulation in the space, we're going to find those blue chips are going to kind of soar, and we'll talk more about that in a second here. But I wanted to get into where we are right now, which is the node, the Ponzi-nomics, the space that we're in right now. And really what started this for a lot of people is Strongblock, right? Strongblock kicked off node season. You know, they were the first ones to bring on the real Ponzi-nomics. Ponzi-nomics is just you need more people to come in to buy up the token supply, to create more nodes, to create more scarcity of the token. And so if you don't have that constant rush of new buyers, you're going to get a dramatic drop on the price. And I think we've seen that in Strong over the last, 4 weeks. And I've been telling people in the Discord and the community that watch out because Strong's gonna dip, and it's dipping because they made a lot of promises to bring on new protocols. They said they were going to bring on one protocol every year this year, and now they kind of shifted to strong chains, and it's fine to shift, right? I think they realized that they were not going to get a ton of these new protocols bringing in their own liquidity, right? When Matic came in, they only brought in 15,000 Matic, which is really nothing, right? If you're running a Matic node and you're going to want to get paid in, let's say, Matic, if you're only making 100 Matic a month or something like that, and you're paying $3 or $4 grand for that node, you're making $100. It's going to take you 3 years to get your money back, right? And so they're having a ton of trouble getting these bigger protocols to bring in their own liquidity to help support the strong block token. And what you're getting is just everything's being paid in strong. And when you have 400,000 nodes creating 2.7 tokens a month, you're almost at 1 million tokens a month going in and out of the protocol, right? And you only have a fixed supply of 528,000. So that's a huge issue if you take a look at it, right? And so you are having a lot of trouble with these newer node projects coming on, and if they just have their one token without any other form of revenue, that project's not going to be around, right? In 4 to 6 weeks, it's really not. I mean, if you look at Stars, you looked at MFR, you looked at there's 100 projects that just kind of came through in the last couple months that are just not here anymore because they don't have any other form of revenue. They're pretty much just money grabs. And you have to be extremely careful about what you're putting your money into right now. It's worse than it ever has been. March has been a very terrible month for these types of projects, and I think we need to take into consideration where this market is heading, right? And so now we're seeing projects like Etherstones mixing reflections with nodes. We're seeing new NAS protocols being brought on to really kind of be aimed at the development teams and people that deploying nodes to help out networks. So you really need to have more than one use case for the token, right? And so I just wanted to go off. So Ring really kind of started the whole kind of Ponzi-nomics debacle that we're in right now. I do think we're kind of heading into a new node space where these projects are realizing that they have to just be more than just a protocol token. There has to be a lottery. There has to be NFTs. There has to be a metagaming space. There has to be several other ways for the project to create revenue, to create new people coming in to do those types of things. And I really think that we need to focus on just a select few of projects the community decides that, hey, these projects are the ones that that could be around in 6 to 12 months. But right now you're seeing just projects launching on VeChain, Harmony, Chronos, Solana, Matic, but they're all the same thing, guys. They're all the same thing. The first thing we need to look at is, what is this protocol doing? And what is this protocol going to change, right? How is this protocol going to grow? And if you can't answer simple questions like, what is this protocol? What is it doing? How is it going to be interacting with the ecosystem? Is this going to be able to grow? Is there a decay model? I mean, there's so many different things we can look at. But really, if we don't understand what we're putting our money into and we're just throwing it in because the next person is doing it, that's really not a sustainable model for you to be able to create wealth for yourself. So we just really need to take the time, take a step back, really understand what we're putting our money into. That way, it's still going to be here in a couple months, right? I lost money on stars. I lost money on MFR. I don't know why I put money into MFR. Maybe because I use the word a lot. I that's probably why I did it. But I'm really not going to be doing this kind of stuff anymore. There's 4 or 5 projects, maybe 6, that I'm going to be putting money into over the next 30 days that are node projects, and I'll go over those with you here in a little bit. But we just need to understand that just because they're launching on a different chain doesn't mean it's something new, right? Doesn't mean it's something new. It might have some success being the first or second project launching on that chain, but in the end, if it's still crap, it's still crap, right? If the team is not doxed, right? If they have no interest in being doxed, 99% of those projects are not going to be around, right? People want to know who they're investing with. If they can't see who they're investing with, they're not going to keep investing into that protocol, right? The reason Strongblock was so successful, David Moss and his team. David's out there every week answering questions, trying to be in the forefront of everything. That's why they were successful, right? They had somebody that everybody trusted out in front talking for the project, and that's why that was successful for such a long period of time. I do think Strongchain, I've heard Strongchain is done. I've heard they're waiting for the market conditions to be a little bit better before they roll it out. I've asked David if that's accurate. He didn't respond to me, so that happens. But I do think we need to take a hard look about what we're putting our money into right now and really think if it's a good idea or not. We're also seeing Tomb Fork and Titano Fork seasons and those popping up. I've noticed that those can be pretty successful if you get in member 37 team member community where we provide everything from crypto from A to Z. We work with a ton of new projects. Last 30 days, we've worked with over 80 new projects that have come to our doors wanting to do AMAs. And what's good for you is you're going to get all of this information. You're going to get the best projects to look at. You're going to get the worst projects to stay away from. You're really going to have a full service view of what's going on in crypto, and we're going to educate and learn and grow together. So I look forward to seeing you there. If you have any questions, please go to cryptonairz.com or find Cryptonairz on Twitter. We do have a Discord link where you can go in and read feedback from all of our community members. Don't listen to me, listen to the community. We've got about 150 reviews in there. So please take a look and see what other people are saying about us. We look forward to welcoming you into our community and growing with you over these next couple months, next couple years. Thank you. Into them very, new people coming in. The community is so important in any of these projects, right? You can have a great protocol, but if you don't have a community to buy into your idea, to buy into what you're selling, you are going to have an enormous amount of trouble coming up really quickly because these projects need new money coming into. And if the team is not out in front talking, the project is not going to be successful, guys. I mean, we've seen it so many times. I mean, in the last month alone, I got a chart here for you. In the last month alone, we have onboarded, we've brought in 77 projects into, in 1 month, in the last 30 days, we've brought in 77 projects into the onboarding channel, right? Right now, there's about 50% of those projects still in there that are going through the process. 33% of the projects we have off-ramped. That means we don't want to work with those projects because we don't think the tokenomics or the team or there's something wrong with the code. And we're working on getting a lot of this information that we're making these decisions on into your hands. And we're working on, we just got this whole process down and how we're doing things right now. And now we're figuring out how to get the information into your hands. And so we're working on that right now. We have a meeting in about an hour from now, which I'll be in with my team to talk about how we're going to get this information into your hands. But we have to be very, very careful because we're just seeing a ton of cookie cutter, projects that really are not going to go anywhere. They're just not going to go anywhere. Anyways, that's kind of my rant on where I think we are right now. I do want to talk a little bit about regulation. I don't know if you guys saw it, but last week Biden did an executive order in the United States here. The order tasked a variety of agencies to study with the planning around cryptocurrency policy in key areas like customer protection, national security, illicit finance. It also urges the Federal Reserve to continue exploring the deployment of the U.S. Central Bank digital currency, CBDC, a digital dollar that would be widely available to the general public. There's some really good information in this article. I'm not going to read it all to you, but regulation is coming, guys. And whether that is something that is rushed and takes 6 months, or that is something that they take a little bit more time, whether it's 12 months or 18 months, regulation is coming. And what regulation is going to bring is it's going to bring in a wall of money, right? You have the New York Stock Exchange sister company making a cryptocurrency stock exchange company. I can't remember the company's called. Is it called ICE? But anyways, they're making a cryptocurrency stock exchange. So once they are ready, once the elites or whoever lines it up, once they pass proper regulation in America, I think it will snowball into a lot of these other countries that are waiting on countries like America to decide what is going to be the laws of the land in crypto, right? They know this innovation is too good that they don't want it to go offshore. So the United States is definitely going to, I think, make regulation that is going to be acceptable, that is going to really, instead of us messing with a $2 trillion market, this is how we get to a $10 or $20 trillion market. Some people would say regulation is bad for crypto, just depending on how you look at it, right? If you want your blue chip assets, your DAGs, your XRPs, your XLMs, whatever the token is, if you want that token to 50x or 20x, you're going to need billions of dollars, trillions of dollars to come into the space for that to happen. How do you get trillions of dollars into the space? You need regulation, guys. There's just no way around it, right? And so you had the first bank in America in New Jersey offering crypto to customers. I think that was like last month that happened. And so you're going to start seeing that everywhere, guys. You're going to go into Chase Bank or Wells Fargo or US Bank, whatever it is, if you're in the United States, and I'm sure it's going to happen in Canada and other places. They're going to start offering you crypto because that is where these banks are going to start making their money from, right? Anyways, from Sterling. Sterling is our head of security. He says to get a project working, you need utility. Utilities have a problem to solve, have an idea to solve that problem, have a team capable of building that idea, have an investor support ready to pour gas on that idea, right? So that's what you really need to be successful right now. So you have to have an idea, you have to have a team capable of acting on that idea, and then you have to have the community around that idea to pour gasoline on it and to really to make it grow. I know that's a lot to throw at you guys. Usually these are just mostly me going over projects, and I do have several projects here that I want to go over with you. Is there any questions on I just been talking for 20 minutes on this. Is there any questions that you guys have that you would like to talk about as a community right now before I get into some of the projects? Okay. Oh, there's always one.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, man?
I just wanted to piggyback off what you were saying and kind of like saying that, how do investors go about really vetting these projects? There was a project recently that came out in December that their engineers, the people that are technical, are not really vetted. And I've noticed that a lot of just my own study, right? I've noticed that a lot of projects, what they do, they really just go after Pfeiffer, or they go after, I think it was LaborX, where they just hire like, um, they
Cookie cutter
hire like
dev.
outsourced engineers. So like,
Yep.
hold on, I can't really hear you. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. My question, like, I mean, I don't want to shill or say anything on my end, but that's just more of my thing. Because yeah, you can have a great marketing plan and whatnot, but if you don't have the right engineers on the team, um, you're just pretty much not selling anything.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, the head devs on a team are probably the most important thing besides the community behind the developers, right? And there's just so much crap being just put out, and it's all money grabs. Like 90% of projects being put out right now are just straight money grabs. And I think the sooner we realize that as a community, and we talk about it and have these conversations, that we all kind of do smarter investing, right? We're not here to give you financial advice, but we're here to open your eyes to what the market currently is, and we really need to understand it as a whole and as a team. That way we can really put our money and our goodwill and our time into these projects. But thank you, Gosu. I really appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
Well, looking forward to having you and talking to you about your project. I do think that's one of the projects I actually like right now. So I'm excited to talk with you more about it, man.
yeah. I'll go through the onboarding process.
All right. So crypto. Wait, who's up here first? Crypto Life. Crypto Life. What's going on, Crypto Life?
What's up, friend? How's it going?
Good. Good. How you doing?
Doing good, man. I know that's wonderful you're doing this chat right now because you're right. There's a ton of node projects coming out all over again after the whole December fiasco. It's like people are so short-sighted they forget like what just happened. When you think about, I have been doing my research about specifically Europa. I'm excited about their launch. I wanted to do a pulse check with you on that. If you're still feeling good about the project, how is that? Because I've been trying to see what didn't work with some of the gamification based node projects. Like I mean I'm specifically going to name call on Elixir, and one of the things was like the low liquidity count and no future prospects of like how they're going to sustain themselves. So what are your takes on that specific project like Europa right now?
I think E and J is probably he's been in this community for like 3 or 4 months now, and he's really taken his time with his team to build out something they think is sustainable, right? I think as far as like the UI and all the time that they put into each detail of the project, you can tell they really, really absolutely care about what they're putting out and how they're putting it out. So I really do like that team. I like that project. I'll be buying into that project. I'll be supporting that project because I do think that project has built itself a really nice community, and the community is what is going to support that project going forward. And if they put in this much time into every little detail that they have been, I know that everything they do in the future, they're going to put just as much detail, if not more detail, into it. So that's what I feel about that. Does that help you?
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I do think that's going to be a great one. That's one of those very rare projects that they're actually taking as much time as needed to make the project correct. I mean, Valify is one of those projects too. I was going to talk a little bit about Valify and why I like Valify and why I think Valify can be successful in the tokenomics behind Valify a little bit later on this chat. But between all of the projects, like you got Emerald, Dominium, Valify. I mean, I do really like Waifu. We're still in talks with the team. I do like the other revenue sources Waifu is working at, even though it's not expected. These guys are really kind of thinking outside the box on some of the stuff. So, there is maybe 4 or 5 node projects that I am or will be already invested in, coming up in Europa, Valify, Emerald, and Waifu are probably going to be the ones that I'm going to be putting my money into. All right, Pip Artist, what's up, Pip? Pip. All right, while you figure that out, D Dot, what's up, D Dot?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yep. How you doing, man?
I'm good. So I know we've been waiting for, like, let's say, Strong to actually launch or not launch, get listed on a major exchange. How was ApeCoin able to list on so many exchanges so quickly?
Well, I think that is a lot of hard work behind the scenes. You know, I think that whole ecosystem, they have just gobs of money. And when you have gobs of money, you can pretty much do anything you want, right? Every time one of those things are buy or resold, they're making money, right? They're making money off merchandise. They're making money off advertising. They're making money off everything right now. And they're using that they're using that to pretty much do whatever they want, man. And that's, you know, when you have enough money, you can move mountains and walls, and that's what they're doing.
All right, that's the only question I had. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Pip, did you get that stuff figured out, my friend? I know you're trying. You keep trying, man. We'll come back to you. Meta, I know you got something good to say. What you got?
Yeah, so I actually just got called to work. I need like 5 minutes, but keep going, keeping your thing. I got some stuff to say about gamified nodes and also Harmony shit that's been going on. So yeah, I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Take your time, man. That's fine. Since everybody else left the stage, I'm just gonna go over some projects that are launching very soon. That I really like this Neighbors project, guys. I'm gonna post some stuff. If you don't know what the Neighbors is, I'm going to post it down into the Sensei Chats channel so you can have some links here for it. But this project does have, I think, everything you kind of need to be successful in the short term. You're basically buying an NFT. You know, your house is an NFT, which is a node. You can buy furniture for that node. You can, you can build furniture for your house. You can even use your VR headset to go inside of your house and do a hangout with friends. I do think this is going to be something that's pretty cool. Let me just Sensei Chat. Let me just post these links for you so you can see them. I was going through this white paper today again, and I really like some of the stuff. So here you go. Become a real estate owner. As a real estate owner, you will have to take care of your properties, furnish them, and increase their value to be part of the neighborhood's ecosystem. Each property are unique, and they give daily rewards. Their values may increase over time to start building your equity. So display your rare NFT furniture and get access to more features and exclusives beyond additional rewards. Get the freedom to make changes to your property to increase its value in case. So they're really kind of gamifying the quote unquote node or your NFT. Enhance your home, sell your property, host events, become a successful host and get access to our exclusive NFT collab, economics, DeFi protocol, governance, collect, and they have, if you go on their website, they have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. You got a fully doxed team here, which is great to see. And I think, if you read through the tokenomics and the white paper on this, it's interesting. And I think this can be successful. I think this is kind of the way we're heading right now, mixing your NFT space with your node space and mixing your augmented and VR reality with it as well. I do really like this project. I know they're having a pre-sale. I think it's on the 22nd. I think you can still register for it if you want to. If you go to the website, they're going to ask you for your email and your password or whatever. You're going to sign up. But that's definitely something that I think is going to be successful. Definitely in the short term. I think it'll be successful for at least 2 to 3 months. Where they take it from there is really up to them. But I really like this project, and I think it's going to be one that I'm going to be trying to make some money on. Tramedy, what's going on?
Yes, do you hear me?
Trademy, how you doing? What's up?
Yeah, sorry, I have a French accent, so maybe.
You're okay, man. We allow French in just don't rug us. What's going on? I'm just kidding, man. What's going on?
Yeah, I arrived less than one week ago, and by reading all your comments, I have the feeling that you are switching from degen project to something like blue chips project. And
Yep.
my thinking, my question is, it's I want to I want to blindly follow your comments. I know it's not good, but I don't know how to do my own research. How do what in your point of view, what is the fastest way to build my own critical thinking? How would you do that? Read all the white papers, read the Blue Ships channel, or build a mind map of best team member in the crypto world. I don't know exactly um, how I can start.
Okay. Well, so we're gonna have some classes on how to do deep dives and things like that with our team. But really, you're looking for some main pillars when you're looking at any project, right? You need to know what the protocol is and what it's doing, what problem it's solving, right? You need to know who the developers are behind the project and their experience. If it's code that they customly wrote, or if it is Fiverr code that they had they had built out from someone else. That's very important, right? Knowing that code is fresh and something new. Having an audit done before launch is very strong. You want to make sure that at least the code is good, but when you're getting into a project. But one of the biggest things people miss is the community behind the project, and that's really where you're going to get all of your money coming into the project. And so if you see a node project that has 1,500 or 2,000 people in its community, how are you going to support that project? How's that project going to grow? You really need to have a good amount of people to support that project. So yeah, you want to definitely read all the white papers so you can understand the tokenomics of the protocol, what's going to be happening when you're putting money into that protocol, where the money is going. If it's going into the treasury, what's the treasury being used for? I like these newer projects coming on, like Valify, that's using the Valify token with a stable token. So you're buying a quote unquote yield box node with not just the protocol token, but you're buying it with stable coins. So what's nice about that is, so with a lot of these projects like Ring, what was happening is you're putting money in, and what Ring was doing is they were taking part of the initial rewards, and they were selling all of their Ring tokens to then buy other stuff, right? And you were just having an immense amount of selling pressure on that protocol. So you really want to look for protocols that are using other means and other ways to help fund the treasury and help fund the protocol going forward, right? And so we're going to have some classes on it, but that's really what I'm looking for is who is on the team, what is their experience, what are their plans after launch, who are they, really where did they come from? If they're 6 months into crypto, how are they going to take us to a 12-month project, right? How is that going to be around in 12 months if the person really doesn't know too much? So it really is the team and the people behind it, man.
Okay, thank you.
Lord JJ, what's going on, Lord JJ?
Hey Sensei, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Great. Thank you so much for inviting me up here. I just wanted to talk about two projects and just get your point of view on them. The first one, I think that you're in, it's Red Light Node. I'm part of that, and I see Magoo's here as well. And I want to say thank you so much to that whole entire team of Magoo and everybody there, because they went to the Crypto Expo in Dubai, and I see them doing a lot of networking as well. What are your thoughts on R&D and the future of it?
Well, I just want to say, yeah, Magoo is one of the partners here in the community. I really like him. He no longer works for the team. Some stuff happened. The team made some decisions, but I respect Magoo a lot. He's a real nice guy, and he's a developer. But as far as Red Light goes, they are out. They are trying to do as much as they can. At the end of the day, it's what have you done for the protocol? I mean, it's good to be out and cheerleading for it and things like that, but what innovations are around the corner. I in this job right now of me kind of being having to look at all these projects, it's really hard for me to follow up and know everything about what's happening to a project afterwards. So I don't really want to give my opinion because I don't know as much as I should be to give you that opinion, if that makes sense to you. I do think they're doing a lot to grow the protocol. What happens with the protocol, I don't know. I really don't. And I don't want to say it's heading somewhere when I don't have all the information, because that would just be wrong of me to say that.
Right, thank you. And then the second project I wanted to have your input on was one that I just went into. It's called Sphere Finance, and I looked at their tokenomics.
Oh,
Yeah, if you could talk a little bit about that, what do you think about it?
Yeah, no, I do like Sphere. I've been missing a lot of launches lately because I just projects, trying to go through and really trying to find ones that I think are going to be standing out and where I can make money. And so I do like Sphere's tokenomics. I do think it's going to do well in the short term, and it has done well in the short term. But really, where that project goes 2 to 3 months from now, I really don't know, man. It's one thing to launch a project, guys, but to work and to grow that project is two separate things. And it really is up to the team to grow past what it is right now. But it does look like a good model, in my opinion.
Thank you. And then I guess one last thing to just end it up here. What do you think is going to be the future of NFTs coming up in these next few months? Do you think it's a big bubble, or do you think that there's actually going to be some value there?
No, I mean, some NFTs have use cases, and some NFTs are just pictures, right? And if they're just a picture and they don't have any other kind of use around them, it really is the supply and demand part of it, right? Is there a demand? Are buying these, or people wanting these, right, to show off or whatever, right? And that's really what sets a market. I do like all these new projects mixing NFTs with Meta, giving the NFT real value where you can sell it on the secondary market for other purposes. It really is kind of an evolving world right now. And I don't really want to say that, hey, it's going down, or it's going sideways, or it's going up. It's really just evolving right now. So we really just need to kind of sit back, see how it evolves over the next 6 months. There's going to be things that are happening in 6 months from now that we're not even thinking of right now, right? And that's innovation. So really, it's up to all these new young developers and these people that are really trying to leave their mark on history, trying to create something really incredible. And so we just kind of need to wait and see out. But we are heading into a really unique time in life where none of this stuff was possible 5-10 years ago, right? And where are we going to be 5 years from now, right? What technology are we going to be using in a couple of years from now? And that's really what we're going to be on the forefront of investing in going forward.
Thank you so much. You've answered all my questions. Appreciate you, Sensei.
Thank you, Lord. Appreciate you, man. Meta, I know you were up here first and you had some stuff to say, so go for it, my friend.
Yeah, Iceman can go first. Mine's going to be a little bit long. There's a lot of stuff that happened.
Okay, Iceman, what you got?
What's up, man?
How's it going, brother?
Two just quick comments I wanted to get your thoughts on. The first, taking a little bit more pessimistic view of kind of where we are right now in the space. It seems like it's a lot of either get a whitelist and use everybody else for exit liquidity, or invest later and then get used as exit liquidity. And the second, I guess, comment and thought is what I'm personally looking at, and I think you touched on it a little bit earlier, are some of these node projects that have multiple revenue streams instead of just one. Because it seems like a lot we're trying to just sustain through a treasury. However, you see stuff like, just to name a few, you have Alpha Nodes trying to develop an NFT marketplace that funnels revenue back in. You have Lava developing sister projects. I think those are the type of projects that are really going to start to show a little bit more sustainability than people that are just constantly trying to rely on the treasury and the treasury investments to outpace how much they need to pay out in the rewards.
Yeah, and let's be honest, right? Adding a validator node on Phantom or Apex doesn't do shit for investors, right? It doesn't bring in a ton of income. All it does is say that you invested some of the people's money into a validator. But in the grand scheme of things, that validator node's not going to bring in nearly as much income as that project's going to need to sustain, right? So yeah, you're right. You are looking for projects that are innovating. Like Vapor's a great example, right? Making Vapor Chain, Vapor Talk. They're working on a couple other things that I can't really talk about just yet, but those guys are only 2.5 months old, and they've already created a side chain where they have up to 10 to 12 projects they want to launch on it. I mean, that is really taking innovation, but we still don't even know how Vapor Chain is going to play out, right? It's not saying, oh, Vapor Chain's here, we're all going to, be a millionaire, but that is something that they have been working hard on. They keeping their heads down and growing. I would say that, if you look at some of these projects that are doing launch pads to launch other projects, to do things like that, those are going to be interesting. I mean, if you get one or two really amazing projects off of your launchpad, that can funnel millions of dollars back into your original protocol. So I do really like those projects that are doing that. But time will tell how it all works out.
Yep, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, brother. All right, Meta, it's all you, bro. Go for it.
All right, yeah. So we're talking a lot about gamified nodes right now, and I feel like we've now gone through a place where we've seen exactly. We're blessed. We have a checklist to see what exactly is done right when you do gamified nodes and what is done wrong when you do gamified nodes. So for example, Elixir, look at Elixir pretty much did everything wrong. They checklist red flag 1, they oversold their tokens on public presale and private presale. They basically sold way too many. And if you look at Tavern, which I'm very happy with, they're doing basically, if you look at Tavern's chart and Elixir's chart, they're basically exact opposites of one another. Elixir spiked, dipped, went back up a little bit, and just declined to its eventual death a week later. Tavern spiked, dipped, and is now on a constant uptrend. And I think there's a really good insight you can have to see exactly. So when you're doing your own research on future gamified nodes, because I think gamified nodes are going to become pretty meta, so to speak, when Valify Orbit stuff comes out. There's a good checklist you can use to determine if the project is good. First off, how many tokens? What is the presale? Typing going to be? Is it going to be a lot of tokens? Is it going to be NFTs? Is it going to be?
Hey guys, Crypto Sensei here. If you like what you're watching on this video, think about signing up for Cryptonairz. We've built out a 37-person team to work on Cryptonairz that provides every kind of info that you want to know. We have a great community of over 2,300 people that also help providing information. If you don't have 12 hours a day to commit to crypto research and knowledge, let us do most of the work for you. That's why we're here. We're one of the very few communities that have a full service security team. Every new project that wants to come work with us to do an AMA, we put them through a very strict process, and you can learn more about that in our community. We have people that understand smart contracts, that can find, malicious code or errors. And so, often we're helping these teams kind of fix their projects before they launch. And so that really gives us the power to know which new projects are going to be solid and which ones might not be. And so we provide all of this information and all of this content to our community. We have some of the most amazing members, and we have a really solid team. So if you're interested in maybe joining, come over to cryptonairz.com, sign up today. Look forward to seeing you out there in the Discord and chatting with you and growing with you, and look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Be a mix of both. The mix of both seems to be the best play. Pre-sale of a small amount of tokens to whitelisted holders, followed by a public sale of NFTs, seems to be the fantastic, really good way of doing it. So people can't dump. So there's actual use case for the token afterwards, et cetera, et cetera. 2, staggered releases.
Yep.
From
Vesting.
I'm not talking about vesting. I'm talking about in general protocol releases. If you look at something like Elixir, they basically front-loaded everything they were doing. They released the mint, then they released the cauldrons, then they released the claimstones, then they released the codebooks. They did it basically all at once, so people bought in heavy, again, with too many tokens, and then they couldn't do anything with them. So the only thing to do was sell. But you look at somebody like Tavern, which every single day Tavern has released a new part of their plan, their protocol. So it's constantly negating the selling pressure of all the pre-sale vested tokens. It's a really good idea from what I've seen coming into the space, just having been in both projects now. Thirdly, just having communicative teams even before launch. Even if they're not doxed, even if they're whatever, just check it how active they are in their communities, like in their own Discords, Telegram, whatever it is. Because Elixir devs were basically just like in once a day and just kind of fucked off for the rest of the day after answering a couple of questions. But the Tavern devs up until launch have basically been answering questions regularly, just always in their Discord trying to field questions, even though a simple read the white paper answer could have been a good response. They still were, being transparent with their community, et cetera, et cetera. And that's just 3 things. Like, there's a lot more, but I think that I'll probably write this up later for Super Bowl. But there's a really good checklist that I've now put together for what's going to be really good coming up with node projects. And that's why I'm looking forward to things like Valify, because low ROI, gamified nodes. They're not going to oversell their tokens. It all looks good to me on the front. So that's just the first part. But also the second thing, Harmony. Boy, do I got some shit to say about Harmony.
All right, drop it on us.
So I volunteered to go onto the multi-sig for Harmony because they were having trouble with it. I guess they did a vote and then like there was some conflict of interest or something because it was like some of the mods got voted or whatever. Basically, they didn't have enough people on their multi-sig. So I was just like, okay, I want to try front end work in DeFi or a front facing figure work in DeFi. So I'll do it. I'll help these guys out. Basically, I went in under the impression that Harmony Nodes was going to have a diverse multi-sig, or rather a high minimum signature count multi-sig, like 4, 5, 5, 5, etc. Because right now, Harmony Nodes multi-sig is a 3-5, and 3 of the people are the dev team. So right now, myself and the other person, Toronto Lawyer, have been in DMs for a while. We're very concerned about what's going on. We've been repeatedly asking the dev team at Harmony Nodes for change the multi-sig, make it 4 or 5, because I'm basically coming in as an ambassador.
Oh, he disconnected, but as soon as he gets back, I'll have him come back. Hey Pip, did you want to say anything while we're waiting for Meta to come back?
Yeah, sure. Hi, can you hear me now?
Hey Pip. Yeah, we can hear you, brother. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I have been invested in a few node projects, Vapor being a highly profitable one for me. But the thing is, the community now is more focused toward nodes, and I would like more into liquid farming and NFTs. That would be great. That because people want to diversify their profits from nodes. That's what I would like. Yeah.
So if you have some ideas for Vapor, why don't you put them in a DM to me, and I'll send them to the team and see if we can get something for them to work on. They're a very open team, and
the suggestion was regarding this group, this community. Vapor has been doing really great. The team is great. I invested in the team from the start itself when it launched. The thing is, in our community right now here in Cryptonairz, it's more towards nodes. Everybody speaks about only nodes, and I think people are interested more into liquid farming. If we check our straight degen channel, more are into liquid farming and more are into NFTs. So if we can get an expert regarding that, that would be great, especially liquid farming.
Absolutely. Liquidity farming. Give me a second here. Why don't you write down some ideas about what you want in the community, and I will talk to like I said, I have a manager meeting at 2:30. I will go over some ideas. Why don't you send them to me, and we'll get going. We're always trying to improve the community, and I know we're really node focused right now because a lot of people are hungry for passive income, and that's why I wanted to have this conversation right now about what's working, what's not working, and so people can really stop investing into things blindly, because I think that's a lot of what's happening right now. And I think as a community, we need to slow that down and really pick the right projects going forward, because if we're all scattered all over the place and we're not together, we're not going to be as successful as we could be, right? So I appreciate you, Pip, and please write those ideas down, send them to me, and I'll get them worked on. Okay.
Yeah, one last thing. When the node projects are discussed, I guess the team should be discussed more about it, because with Vapor, it was the team that has really put Vapor where it is now. Like even with the 60% down from its all-time highs, I'm still profitable with it. It is because of the team from the launch
Yep.
itself. Most of the node projects, the teams uh, are visible at the start of the launch, and they vanish away, and the team is not, the community itself is not so proactive. So if a node project's team is also discussed, people won't just jump into any node projects.
No, I agree with you, Pip, and we'll
Yeah.
focus on more of the team stuff in the community and talking about that stuff more. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's all I
I
have.
appreciate
Have a good day.
All right. Oh, sorry, man. I didn't mean to cut you off there. You have a good day too, Pip. I really appreciate you. Meta, you want to continue, man? I guess you got.
I think the devs are DDoSing me for being a whistleblower because my Discord
Is that
restarted,
what's
my internet
happening?
crashed.
Oh,
Yeah, I
shit.
think that's what's happening. All right, yeah. So yeah, multisig. So basically, the entire community has, like, along with myself and the other person on the multisig, has been asking for changes like 4555 because right now devs can do whatever they want with the money. The contract was audited and there were a lot of flaws that could have been fixed by a multi-sig, like the ability to mint new tokens. It would have to go through me or the other guy. But right now, that's not the case. They never fixed it. They dodged a lot of questions from the entire community about the multi-sig until today, where they said, "Oh, we'll decide about multi-sig. I guess either sometime like after pre-sale, during pre-sale, or something." But basically, also there's a flaw right now in the contract that, or so they say, a flaw in the contract that basically made it so whitelisted, so anyone can mint now. Whitelisted people, it doesn't have to be whitelisted people. It doesn't have to be anybody with any sort of credibility. It's just anyone can mint. So basically, private sale is now turned into public sale before they've doxed to James Pelton on their AMA that they're planning to do, I guess, tomorrow. And they said, oh, we're going to extend the pre-sale through the AMA with James Pelton, but it's still open. Everyone has been asking them to delay until something happens. The multi-sig gets fixed, the docs happens, the AMA happens, and they're just not doing any of it. So
we actually off-boarded or off-ramped Harmony nodes out of the community.
Did you?
We were gonna, they came to us wanting to do an AMA, and we decided to off-board them due to all the stuff that's happening. So we will not be doing an AMA with them. I was into that project as well. It does sound like a money grab, and maybe it's a money grab. Sure looks, if it looks like a duck, it sounds like a duck, walks like a duck, it's probably a duck. So anything else that you can give us as far as any of that information, anything else on them?
Yeah, I looked at basically I was onboarded for multisig, and it took about 5 minutes. I think because I've never been on a multisig before. I just wanted to do it again as an ambassador so I could give the people here peace of mind about investing in it or not. But they basically were able to change it from a 104, because it was a 104 before they got the fifth person, to a 204 in about 3 minutes to put me on it to do some test transactions, so I would know how it works. So there really isn't any dev logical excuse here that I can give for why they haven't changed the multisig or pushed back the pre-sale or done literally anything. All they've done is found flaws and said, oh, we're just going to extend, instead of either fixing the flaws or stopping the pre-sale. So financial advice, don't invest in Harmony nodes at all. I do not like where this is going. I'm going to stay on this multisig and just in case something changes. And if it does, and they decide to make it a 4.5 or a 5.5, I'll be able to see what goes on in the contract for those who already did buy, because I know some people in this community did buy into the Harmony nodes. Of course, I'm not saying the devs are going to rug. I have no evidence to claim, like, no anything other than circumstantial evidence or conjecture. I have nothing else to say that they are going to rug you after this pre-sale, before their docs, AMA, whatever. But everything is pointing towards not trustworthy in the slightest. So I'm just saying right now, if you were planning on investing or filling a bag of pre-sale, whatever, save it, because everybody can invest right now. There have been way too many red flags popping up since I put myself on multisig, but I'm going to stick with it and see what happens. If anything, I'm only going to gain from this because I won $200 in their giveaway yesterday, and I've not invested a dime into their project. So I'm not mad about this. I'm just mad that, like, I'm trying to do work in DeFi, and this is the first thing that I'm actually getting to work on, and it's like looking like a rug, and it sucks.
Yeah,
So
it's tough, man.
Yeah, so
It's
stay
tough.
away from this. Yeah, I have fucking ADHD, so I don't remember what else I was gonna say. I probably had a whole laundry list of shit, but basically,
I'm
just
nerd too,
don't
guys.
invest in Harmony nodes until even when they fix it. Honestly, I think that there's just too much incompetence in this project from the dev side, and they need a PR person. I was gonna volunteer, but it looks like a rug, so I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, and that goes back to knowing, you know, who and what you're investing in, right? And what is the protocol besides, you know, just another, you know, node project taken away from the treasury? You know what I mean? It's the same copy paste, right? It's nothing new, nothing special.
It is literally copy. I went through the documentation. It's literally just a copy. It's the only good part about the only potential good part about Harmony nodes right now is again first node project on Harmony 1. Which it gets first mover advantage, but so far they've botched pretty much every part of the process of even getting a pre-sale going properly, and the multi-sig and all that is just not worth it. Wait for Harmony node nodes where it's just going to be like, you know, Chronos, but it's Harmony node nodes where it's just going to be the second one like Chronos nodes, and they're just going to do it better or some shit. I don't know. Put money in Tavern. That's where my money's at. There's going to be a big price pump tomorrow NFA when they do the big minting event. So
you know,
that's where I'm at.
It goes back to investing in the right team, right, and the right idea, and that sounds like the wrong team and the wrong idea. So I mean, what's even point? But I appreciate you, Meta. Thank you for being so honest and forthcoming with information. It's always good. You know, there's 218 people here, and I'm sure some of these people were thinking about doing that, or so. Thank you for doing that. All right?
I've been talking about it for the last 24 hours in Super Bowl, but I don't know how many eyes I got on it, so I wanted to bring it all up here again. So
you got all the eyes on it now, brother.
Yeah, thank you, Sensei.
All right, Meta. I appreciate you, man. You have a wonderful day, and good luck on your next DeFi exploration space. You know, I hope next time you get on a multi-sig that's a solid project, and you can bring us that information. Gosu, what's up, brother? All right, cool. Good stuff. Can't hear you, but fix that. Let's try Tigers. What's up, Tigers? Just gotta unmute, guys. There we go.
I just had somewhat of a Cryptonairz general question. I've been a member for about a month, and maybe I'm using it wrong, but I'm having a really hard time kind of doing like a gut check with the project with you guys. So let's say I'm out cruising around and I find a node project, and I'm kind of, you know, do my own research, and I'm kind of curious, you know, what your guys' thoughts on or summarized thoughts. I'm having a really hard time, like, actually just like straight up finding that information because I know it's there, but it's just like, where is it? So my question is, A, am I just straight up missing something? And B, is there a way that we can get that a little more organized, and I could probably make some suggestions to that, but
no, and I appreciate that. So over the last month, right? All right. So we brought on, you know, 2 full security people, and we have about 4 code people that can read a contract and know if there's malicious content or malicious actions in the code or mistakes or whatever, right? So now that we have our process, and every time a project comes in, we have a researcher go through the project, answer some questions that we've, you know, pre-done with the project. Then it goes, once it passes the research phase, it goes on to the code audit side. If it passes the code audit side, then it goes to the security check. And if it passes security check, that's when it comes into the community. So we're gathering all of that information, whether it's from the researcher, the code auditor, and the security check. All that information is behind the scenes. We're trying to figure out what is the best way to get that information into the hands of you, but without you know, if a bad review comes in or something, we don't want to be responsible for nuking a project, right? So we're trying to find the balance of what information we can let you know, give to you guys, and what information we can't. And so we have the process built. It's working. Like I said, we went through 76 or 77 projects in a month. You know, and some of them were offboarded, some of them we did AMAs, and some of them are still in the queue. What we do with that information is that's what we're working with, how to get it into your hands, into the community's hands. So some of the information goes into the security channel, where we're trying to get a process in place to bring the rest of it in. It is taking a little bit of time to do that because we need to do it in a correct manner. If we do it in the wrong way, we could be responsible for nuking, you know, a ton of new projects, and that's not what we're here to do, right? So, but if you want, send me all of your ideas, please. Send me all your ideas. I'll go through all of them with the team and see how much that we can implement. But it's just, you know, it's just a growing thing. We built out the process. Now we need to figure out how to get the information from the process into your hands, and that's what we're working on.
That makes total sense. And you mean DM you, send you stuff?
Yeah, DM me,
Okay, cool.
me everything. I mean, everything. Please, just send me all you can. I'll go through it all, and I'll go through it with the team and see, because we're always trying to make this better, always trying to give you guys more information. And so that is really what information you know too, right? It's basically the code review, what they saw. Is there any flaws? Is there any this? It's all answered in those pages. We just need to get that information into your hands.
Totally. No, that's awesome. I'll definitely do that. One idea I just had when you were talking is even just like a neutral, this is where the project is in the process would be awesome, right? It's like, oh, you know, no, you know, judgment, right? Just like, oh, it's here, we've been onboarded, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That would be awesome, just because then, you know, at least you have a 30,000 foot view of like, oh, it's in the process or whatever. That'd be cool. But anyways, I'll DM you. Good to know. I know you guys have been working on it.
I've asked for that, and my team is kind of, you know, that's what we're trying to figure out right now, because I've asked for that. I said I want to know what projects are, and I got some pushback because, you know, they don't want to release the information because of that, and so I've been pushing for that. So I will be pushing again in today's meeting about how to get that done, and I'll make sure we get something like that done, because I think that's extremely important, and I'm tired of getting pushback from the team on it. So I'll get it done.
Awesome, cool. Well, I'm glad I wasn't just completely missing something, but
You're
love
not.
the work you guys are doing.
Yep, it's there, brother. We just need to get it into your hands in a safe manner, that we're not going to just destroy a project if it was just a total shit show. Because then we're not going to get projects that want to go through the process because they're scared. You know what I mean? So there's a balance there, but we're trying to find the flow.
Makes perfect sense.
I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you, man. Look forward to your DM, though. I'm going to definitely go over it all. Gosu, did you get your mic fixed, man?
Yeah, hello?
No, it's okay.
Can you hear me?
Doper life. Doper, is it Doperine life?
Can you hear me?
What's up? I can hear you.
I just wanted to say I've been in the community for about 4 months, and I just wanted to come up here and pretty much say I deal with a lot with custom animations, webcams, t-shirt designs, and everything. And I just wanted to work on some stuff and possibly send it to you, DM it to you, and just to help out the community a little bit, and possibly have some shirt designs. Is that okay with you?
100%, man. And the shop, we're going to be opening once I move to Vegas. The Cryptonairz shop will be open. Where, you know, if you guys have some designs and you guys want to, you know, put your designs and, you know, get you a percentage of the sales from the designs, I'm all about that. No problem.
Okay, that's the only thing I had to ask. Thank you.
Anytime, man. Thank you so much. And, you know, I do get a lot of messages from community members sending different, you know, graphics and designs, and, you know, sometimes stuff's so good. We bring people on, we pay for it, whatever it is. So if you are one of those uniquely skilled people that can add value to the community, reach out to me. Let's add the value. Let's make it look better. RJ, what's going on? Before I get into some of these projects, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, man? I'm just wondering if it would be possible to have some sort of like aggregated like calendar like RugDoc has for projects that you guys like. It's kind of hard to follow like the launches and like the whitelist and all this stuff for so many projects.
So check us out, man. So we have a calendar that's been built that is going to basically have everything that Ape Clock or Ape Doc, whatever Ape has. It's going to have the one you just mentioned, and it's going to have everything in the calendar. The person that's responsible for the calendar was brought on yesterday. They're inputting all the information into the calendar, and you should see the calendar up here in the next 5 to 6 days, maybe sooner, but that is right around the corner.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yep. Thank you. And if you have any more ideas, man, send them to me. And let me just get through these last 2 questions, and I want to go over some projects really quickly with you guys. That's why I know some of you guys are here. Margarita Clarita, what's up?
Hi, how are you? I'm new to the community and super
Welcome.
excited to be here. I
Nice to have
have
you.
a question about the way that you structure your AMAs and what it is that you look for in particular, especially for up and coming projects?
I mean, well, whenever we do an AMA, we're get an understanding of what the project and that protocol is and what it's going to do and how it, why it's going to matter, right? And so really that's what AMAs are for, and to question some tokenomics, to question some of maybe the team's decisions or the roadmap or whatever it is. That's really what the AMA is for. But I mean, if you have specific questions that you want asked about anything, you're always, able to come up and ask those questions to the team yourself.
Awesome. Thank you. It's just with Twitter and Clubhouse and all of these different forms of AMAs that are really just shill sessions and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I feel like these people are a little bit more legit. So I would like their opinion.
Yes. So we put projects through a very strict process, and we don't charge projects to go through the process. That's why a lot of projects come to us. But we do check as much forward-facing data as we can. We go through dev wallets, we go through tokenomics, we go through the team and the developers, their past, their history. If they're doxed, we go through all of the forward-facing or dark web data on that person. I mean, we check and recheck as much stuff possible. So if a project actually gets in for an AMA, they've usually gone through that entire process. There's certain situations like Veracity VRA is going to be here, not this weekend, but next weekend. That is a blue chip project that's been around for a very long time. I don't need to bring those guys code and look at what they've done, because they've already have a proven track record of being a responsible, successful blue chip project, right? So there's going to be some situations like that, but any new project, we're going to put through the entire ringer. And most don't make it through our process, but the ones that do are the ones that stood out to our team, our research team, and they made it through all the questions that we had and that we did about that project.
Is it bad that I think that that's a good thing?
No, and that's why we built. So Ring was the reason all this stuff happened, right? We had a good process about going through a project and understanding the developers, but we didn't have the security aspect. We didn't have the people reading the code, understanding, this is malicious content, or this is misspelled, this doesn't work. We actually, a lot of the times, are helping teams correct some things in the code that we're finding that may be off, that might be an issue. So we do as much due diligence now as we ever have, and that is the most important thing. I think that's why a lot of people are still here with us, is because we do take as much time and to go through all those things to make sure that we're working with a legitimate team and project, right? Because being rugged sucks, and everybody hates that.
My business partner is a cybersecurity expert who focuses on auditing, and I handle his negotiations. So to say malicious code is sucky is a very diplomatic way of saying it at this point in time, I have to say. There is a lot of scary things out there, so that makes me feel very confident that you go through that process. Because too many people don't even go to look if a contract is verified, let alone audited. So
we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on security people to check all this stuff. Like we actively spend a huge part of our budget that we make from subscriptions. We're spending on a security team and all this stuff, so we can make sure that we're dealing with legitimate projects and people. So very few communities have our process like we do right now. And I think you'll see a lot of that work coming out over the next couple of weeks here as we're releasing a lot of this data that we're going through.
Oh, amazing. Have you built a platform where you're releasing it on so that it's...
So we're having a meeting here in about 22 minutes that we're going to discuss how this is going to happen. We're gathering all the information for every project that comes through. We just got to figure out a proper way to release the information where we're not going to... The problem is we release information and then it winds up on Twitter. It winds up everywhere else that it's supposed to be. And so we're just trying to find what's the best way to release information without having it compromised. So that's the hardest part.
Have you heard of he goes by Foxtrot Lima on Discord, and he has a project called Redcon. It's a cybersecurity. Oh, sorry, go Sue.
No, can you introduce me to this person? I'd love to talk with him a little bit more about it.
Absolutely, yeah. No, he's military. cyber.
Yeah, I love my military.
Yeah,
know,
and he's been working with some phenomenal individuals on building a platform where people can submit. And this would, I just feel like in my gut, this would be a really great collaboration because you can't do everything all the time, you know? And so to have that information gathered and a platform that says like, this code could be malicious. It's like a red light, yellow light, green light kind of situation, you know?
No,
Like,
I love that, and we're actually moving into we're building a sister company that's going to be a KYC and audit company as well,
oh,
and then we're going to be able to bring in a lot of that data into the Discord as well. We're also building a phone app that is going to house a lot of this data too. That instead of you using Discord, you can use the phone app. So there's a lot of stuff coming that we're building. We're constantly building to make this community better and to get information into your hands, more information always. So I
awesome.
appreciate you, Margarita. You have one of
Thank
the
you.
best names. Margarita is my favorite drink. I love those.
Thanks.
You have a wonderful day.
You
And
too.
connect me to this person. I really want to
I
talk to
will.
them, okay?
I definitely
All
will.
right.
May the
Thank you.
force be with you. I don't know how to go to the audience, so if you could.
Yeah, I got you. May the force be with you too. Great energy. Thank you so much, Margarita. Go, Sue. I know you've been waiting a while trying to get your mic fixed. Lay it on us, brother. What you got?
Yeah, no. I wanted to drop and just kind of name some things. Like, what do you think about the Flow network with Dapper Labs? I've been like really invested into like the NBA, UFC, Liga, right, for FIFA, like these type of like small clip NFTs. But like my issue is like it doesn't feel like there's no secondary market for it. It's just sitting there. It's like I don't know if like back in like the late 2000s you have like websites that have in website tokens, right? Like you purchase things within the website with the tokens that they have. So it just kind of feels gimmicky. But I don't know if you ever taken a look. I don't know if you know who Dapper Labs are.
I don't know who Dapper Labs are, but I know what you're talking about as far as sports clips being sold as NFTs. I think as you get more people, like right now, there's still only like 400 million people in crypto, right? Out of what
Right.
7 or 8 billion. So I think as we go through the next 3 to 5 years, I think that you'll find a nice floor, a nice rising floor kind of stuff. I just don't think there's enough people in it right now to support all these new like I mean, I don't have a favorite sports fan that I'm trying to find their best clips or anything like that, right? So I think you just need to get more people that are going to be buying that stuff into the market, and right now you don't have to deal with.
Yeah, it's just to kind of let you know, like Dapper Labs are like the original engineering team that did CryptoKitties back in like 2016, 2017. And they're the ones that build a platform called Crypto Zombies in order to learn how to write Solidity contracts and whatnot. But yeah, no, I personally feel like they're bringing in a whole new crowd of new pocket, but it's just more of like it just seems gimmicky in a way. I just wanted to your take on it. I can probably like DM you that stuff.
Yeah, man, DM me. Let me catch up on it. Let me understand it better, and I'll definitely better. But I really want to dig into it so I can give you my honest and full-fledged opinion on it.
Yeah, and the other question is just based on my history with crypto. I mean, I've been around since like 2010 when Bitcoin was around, and we were using stuff for like the Silk Road and whatnot with Bitcoin.
I know all about that.
I'm one of the ones that got rugged in 2014 by MTGOX, but and I just recently just got back into the space. But I wanted to kind of ask the question, like, you mentioned stuff about like bringing in new pockets and bringing in new people and exposing that, but I think the entry curve is huge. I think from going to something like Coinbase, KuCoin, Crypto.com, and then ending up somewhere like an AVAX network or the Phantom network, like it's kind of like there's kind of like this huge gap that you need to go through different loopholes. So like, how would you say it would be your idea on or like if you ever had a consensus of with your team or with the people you're around, how to bring in those people. Because I remember me getting back into it back in January. If it wasn't for a friend of mine that knew all these new steps, instead of just going to MTGOX and just buying crypto there and that's it, like, how do you, like, what do you think that gap would look like? Like, how do you get, because I got turned off completely the moment I was like, Coinbase, Spooky Swap, Spirit, BitSwap, Pancake, whatever. Like, it was just like, dude, this is too much in order just to get like what?
So with any innovation comes a learning curve, right? And anytime a new innovation, you're always going to have the biggest learning curve, right? And that's what you're in right now, right? Right now, it's probably the biggest learning curve that you're going to have for crypto ever, right? You got to learn how to do your MetaMask. You got to learn how to add different things. You got to learn how to, Spooky Swap, Spirit Swap, Pancake Swap, Joe's, Trader Joe. I mean, there's so many different things you have to learn and understand. It really is a gigantic gap. And if you want mass adoption, you're going to have to look forward to companies who are closing that gap, whether that is, big conglomerates, doing crypto assets and making it easier to purchase and different things like that. Your Coinbase is your broker trying to sell crypto, trying to make it a little bit easier. But they're going to have to find a way to whether that's a different version of MetaMask or whatever it is, to be able to get in and to buy and to sell and to be able to operate on different of these NFT platforms or these things. It's just a huge learning curve right now. And the people that are taking the time to understand it and build through it are the people that are us right now, right? But if you want to get the masses, the real masses in that we're going to need to really become the future millionaires of the world, it's going to need a bridge, essentially, to be able to operate these things a lot more simply, right? It's going to need to be a lot easier for that to happen.
Right, and that's kind of like I mean, again, I don't want to show or anything. I don't think it's the appropriate time. But to me, that's kind of what I'm trying to find that happy path. From bringing in new pockets, bringing in new people. So I'm just like brainstorming ideas to make that happen, because what I've noticed is a lot of these node projects, I mean, in the back, behind the curtain, I'm really looking into all of these node projects, also these DeFi projects, and like I see a lot of the same faces, and I'm just like, okay, maybe these are just recycled investors, and like I want to avoid that. But that's just my take on it. I just wanted to know your take on that, and if you haven't looked into Dapper Labs, like these guys
Send it to me.
are serious.
I love it.
Like,
I do need to get through some projects before I got a meeting in 13 minutes, and I got to get through some projects. So let's catch up with this a little bit later if we can, Gosu. Is that okay? Yeah, thank you, man. Sorry, guys. I got to get to this manager. We're still waiting around here. So the only projects that I'm investing in, node projects that are coming up right now, I went over the neighbors already. There's 2 or 3 games, Paper Hands versus Holders, Mech Game, Wind Blast. I'm glad I bought into Wind Blast. I got some of those dragons. I got 1 or 2 dragons that are worth 7 or 8 grand each. So I was really happy that I bought into Wind Blast. I know some people called me into that, buying those dragons. And what's it called? Horde has a really good decay model. After you make 300%, your plot dies. They're gonna have a KYC. They're gonna have a CertiK audit at launch. I do think Horde is gonna do very well in the short term. AL ETH nodes, ALF nodes. I know you guys have seen me talk about that a lot. They're launching soon. They're going to be successful, definitely in the short term. They have a great community behind it. They have great devs behind it, fully doxed devs. And is definitely going to help out the protocol. Etherstones is still going to have a huge launch, guys. If you're bought in early on Etherstones, you're getting on day 1, you're going to make a return, probably, most likely. I think I am for the Etherstones. Dominium Fi is kind of like a Fiscus deal. Dominium is going to be using treasury assets to buy real world real estate assets, gold, silver, different things. I do think Dominium is one of those projects that has a protocol that is going to be able to branch the digital asset world to the real world assets. So I'm definitely going to be looking out for that project to. I did some early investing, but I really wanted to talk to you a little bit about Valify today. Why I think Valify going to be one of those projects that is going to be around, right? Go into they really paint a nice picture, right? If you let me just share the white paper with you, and so there's two. Let me share this in Sensei Picks so you can have it. If you go through this white paper, or Sensei, let me go Sensei Chats. Damn, Discord links be expiring. I got to change that. If you go through the Valify's white paper and you go into their back end and you look at this graph explaining how this treasury is going to work, I do think this is going to be successful, right? Investors invest 5 Valify with the same amount in stablecoin to create a yield box. And when you create the yield box, basically the 4.5 of the token amount in a stablecoin goes into the treasury, and they use that treasury to do investments. They use that investments to do buybacks and burns of the protocol. They also bring in a portion of the Valify token, the rewards pool, which you need, and then they use some of that to burn as well. And then they're also putting liquidity to Trader Joe's. So if you really want to know what good tokenomics backend looks like on a project, I think this is going to be successful definitely in the short term. I don't know how it's in, let's say, 12 to 24 months, but these guys are working on a lottery system. They had those 5,000 NFTs that they sold that do have value right now. They are going to have monthly fees for this stuff. But if you really want to get into a decent looking white paper and what a project that I think is going to be very successful, in the first, 3 to 6 months, this is definitely one that is standing out to me. They're going to have different things. They're going to have a lottery system similar to PancakeSwap where you guess the 4 numbers. There's fees. They're going to be 0 compounding fees, 0 claiming fees, 0 fees for selling Valify rewards. They are going to have some type of whale tax, which most projects do. If you go to their roadmap, I mean, they have a lot of stuff on here to expand the token utility, a Certic audit. They're going to get into gaming and different things. I just think this is one of those projects that has a lot of stuff on their white paper that is really going to be successful. So I'm really focused on, I have my 20 NFTs. I knew that was going to be a big thing. That's why I kept telling you guys, to buy them. Well, I wasn't telling you, I was just letting you know the information's there. But the people that did buy them, I know bought like 10 of them and sold them all for 15 to 20 AVAX and made a nice return. But I'm going to be using mine to build yield boxes because I think I'm going to get my money out pretty quickly. Valify is definitely one of those projects that I think is going to be successful. So I have a lot of notes here. Hey guys, Crypto Sensei here. Thank you for watching this video. If you like more content like this, think about joining the Cryptonairz community. We have a 37-person team that works on everything crypto from A to Z. If you like NFTs, if you like new DeFi projects, new node projects, if you like blue chip projects, we talk a lot about DAG, VRA, HBAR. We do have a lot of great community members that also provide a lot of content. If you don't have 12, 15 hours a day to spend doing crypto research, let us help you, let us show you. Join and sign up today. Let me know if I can do anything for you. Crypto Sensei out. Another project that you haven't heard me talk a ton about, Notify is a global scale nodes as a service platform that provides fully managed blockchain nodes to developers and investors across many networks and ecosystems. This is what I was talking about, like getting into blockchain nodes to developers, right? And so it's not just to investors, but actually developers, so they can build and then they can use these nodes to expand their platform or their network. Our platform enables generate NDFI tokens by creating blockchain nodes across our supported networks. Notify incentivizes node operators to register their nodes with Notify Connect, which forfeits the operator's RPC endpoint in return for increased rewards. So it looks like they will be able to give developers access to using the endpoints and using the nodes. I do think this is a very interesting project, low return as far as the ROI, so I know it's going to be around for a while. But take a look at some of this information. I think it's Notify. God, there's so many of these projects in my head. I do think Notify is something that you should pay attention to. We're going to work on trying to get them in for an AMA, but this is a project that has not yet. And so here's a little bit of information in the chat. And as soon as I get done with this chat, I'm going to post all my notes and then a little bit of what I was talking about earlier with, the way the market is and things like that. I don't really have too much time to take too many other questions. I might have like time for one or two. So I know Jox51's been waiting. Let me answer this question really quickly. Jox, what's going on? Hello? Don't be shy, Jox. Lay it on me. Don't be shy. All right. Jox is figuring out his microphone. Just so you guys know, we are working on a way to get all this information that we're doing into the Discord. It's very difficult, but we're doing that. Phone apps being worked on. There's just so many things that we're doing on the back end right now to make the Discord better. Oh, Jox, you're there. What's up, man?
Hello? Hello? Hey, what's up,
You're
man? I
here?
wanted to
What's up?
clarify. You could.
Okay. What are we clarifying?
What do you mean? Yeah.
I didn't understand anything you said.
When you
man.
mean,
Can you try to...
project is going to be for when the short term. What time frame are you thinking?
Jox, I'm hearing every like 5 other words, man. I'm sorry. I can't really understand you right now. Yeah, sorry, man. Just send me a message and I'll answer your question. Guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me for an hour and a half and listening to me go over all this stuff. More information to come. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Let me know if you guys need anything, but lots of stuff coming down the pipe right now. We still got about 40 projects in the queue, and we're adding new projects every day. So we're going to continue to bring the best projects to you guys, and let us know if you need anything, okay? Thank you.